We're live. You know, I should have blown my nose before we started, Katie. It
Yeah,
wasn't very smart of me, so I'm gonna mute for just a second and blow my nose.
it happens. We all need to do that from time to time, just not at the start of the show.
Yeah, no shit. What am I doing? What am I doing here? All right, let's get this on the road here. Whoa. If I'd not do that. There we go. All right, let's go. It's June 12th, 2023, and these are your Fortean Files. The Fortean Files mascot tonight is brought to you by Katie and her inability to let cats just go upon their merry way.
She loves me, Chris. Look at her. She's making biscuits.
She's doing something. Uh, so it is yet another week. I'm going to try to keep this tight tonight, folks. My son is staying with me currently, stopped in for a visit, so I don't want to take too long to do the show tonight. It's also why I had to start a little bit late, but I want to try to keep this as tight as possible. So will not be your normal show tonight. Will be a kind of a quickie, as it were.
No deep dive tonight.
No, no deep dive, no deep anything. However, with my son in town, we delved into something. When he came over last night, I was looking through stuff for us to pop on to watch, and I came across this documentary on HBO called, and I want to make sure I get my information correct on this. It's called How to Create a Sex Scandal, I think. Let me see. So I want to get the all the information about this correct. I want to try to find something that'll give me all the ins and all the outs, all the people, all the so this I look at this damn thing, and there's a trailer for it, and it says there was this swingers club in Mineola, Texas, and that kids were getting sexually assaulted at this swingers club.
Kids.
Right. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's delve into this. And as you get further into the documentary, it takes some twists and turns.
As they do.
As documentaries do.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so, spoiler alert for people who who haven't watched this or who are going to be going into this. The woman, there's a woman in question who takes in these foster children. Okay? So, and she takes in a fuck ton of foster children. And when I say a fuck ton of fucking foster children, I mean she had 15 kids at one time.
Jeez. That's a lot.
Now, the minute I saw this, I turned to my son and said, that woman does this for the money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And there is nothing that can tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
No, nothing she can say is going to prove to me that she doesn't do it for the fucking money.
That's too many kids to comfortably take care of unless you're a family of 6 adults.
So, anyway, long story short, this documentary goes down some fucking rabbit holes. And I don't want to. I won't say that I don't feel like don't know what happened at the end. I do feel like I know what happened. But it's pretty friggin' bizarre.
How is it on being kind of biased and trying to lead you in a direction?
I think that they tried to keep it fairly open-minded. Definitely both sides were presented.
Okay.
Everyone was given the opportunity to be given a part in the documentary. Certain people did participate, certain people did not.
Right.
The main woman in question who fostered the kids was in the documentary.
Was she in the swingers club?
No. The kids were in the documentary, all except for one. The kids in question. Her husband did not appear in the documentary. I'm telling you, it's worth a watch.
I'll have to check it out this week for sure.
It's worth a watch. It's 3 episodes. They're all about like 45 minutes apiece. And it was definitely worth it. I recommend it. I was baffled. And yet not at the same time.
Right.
You know, I look at it and I went through let's just say some similar things growing up. And not that there was a sex club. Wow. Minus the sex club.
Yeah.
Some accusations that were fairly interesting. But yeah, it's one I would definitely recommend to people if you haven't checked it out. Definitely do so. If you're into those sorts of things, documentaries and true crime and sort of a whodunit, really. It's kind of a whodunit.
It's my kind of documentary. I'll definitely be watching it.
And it's quick. It's wrapped up fast.
Yeah.
It's not like
3 episodes. That's not bad.
It's not like most of the stuff that you and I watch, which is fucking 13 episodes and 5 webisodes and fucking I don't know, 14 hours of contemplation.
I like to go deep, Chris.
I get
want to know everything.
I get PTSD from doing fucking deep dives with you.
There's several cases that I think don't get talked about enough that really fascinate me. I've got several in my pocket. So
I'm pretty sure I need therapy after doing this show with you for a little bit.
Sorry.
That's just the way it is. But yeah, that's what I dove into this week. Was that I did want to dive into something on cults this week, but like I said, I want to keep this very, very tight. We probably will not even do the break tonight.
Yeah.
We'll just go through the news and wrap up. So, and we will be back next week with our normal show. It's just like I said this week. I don't get to see him that often, and when he's here, I try to take full advantage. Excuse me, I was going to cancel the show tonight, but I had already announced it, and Katie and I couldn't figure out doing the show tomorrow night, so I just figured we'd blast through it. And, excuse me, and be back next week. Plus you guys got a bonus episode last week.
Yeah, that's true.
You got the Danny Masterson is gonna rot in fucking jail episode.
Holla.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're a fan of that, but I'm pretty sure his victims are.
Yeah.
The Scientology front is always a fun one to watch. Speaking of though, I got into a book this past week by Frank Herbert. Now, Frank Herbert wrote Dune, which is one of my favorite novels. Named my dog after one of Paul Atreides' children in the books. I picked up this book. He wrote a lot of like really weird stuff, and Dune was the thing that he was very well known for.
Is that the one that there was a movie for here recently?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
HBO. It's on
Yeah.
HBO Max. And so I checked out this book called Hellstrom's Hive, having like zero idea of what to expect. Like what they say about this book, like the description of this novel does not. It leaves you completely in the dark, which I loved.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was getting into going into this. It gives you a kind of an idea, but not really.
Yeah.
But the basic overall idea of this book is that this guy has created, but he didn't create it. That's the thing. He's just part of it. And he happens to be part of the hierarchy that can communicate with the outside world. But what these people have done, or initially did, was created a hive of people that live like insects. And their chemistry has changed, the way they reproduce has changed. They use like these things they call stumps, where they cut the head off a body of a woman and cut off her legs and arms, and she's literally just used for reproduction.
The fuck, man?
Yeah, so but reading this book reminded me of like cult behavior. This hive-like structure
Mentality.
just totally reminded me of cult-like fucking behavior.
Huh.
It was, yeah, it blew me away.
It's kind of a mind fuck.
Yeah, very interesting novel. If you're a fan of Frank Herbert, I recommend it. If you're if you like that type of novel, I would definitely recommend it. If you like that type of stuff, it's a science fiction novel.
Yeah. Sounds very creative.
Yeah, it's described that the world is like a police state. I don't quite see it. I didn't quite see it that way reading it. It just reminded me of America as it is, to be honest with you.
Well, we're not cutting people's heads off and making them incubators.
Well, no. I'm not talking about the hive. I'm talking about the actual country
Yeah.
because the hive is hidden. People don't know about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then what's the point of it?
It was trying to become sustainable and eventually branch out and take over the world. Was the actual like end game for the hive. But what happens is some people in the government find out about it through an accident. Like someone accidentally leaves some papers out that lead them to this place. And they start digging around and find out that there's members of this hive that are actually out in Congress and then in the Senate, and there's a judge, and so it's a little bit more enmeshed than what they thought. Like it gets pretty
really
deep.
Yeah,
it gets pretty deep. So
sounds like a lot.
I really enjoyed that book, and right now I'm reading some Lovecraft style fiction by Brian Lumley. So yeah, all fun shit. But yeah, Hellstrom's Hive. If you like cult like shit, science fiction, insects. They live like insects, literally like insects. They have like pheromones and shit.
Attention. That sounds really interesting, and I don't usually like stuff like that. So,
and it was a quick read too. And here's the thing: it's science fiction, but it doesn't feel like science fiction,
right?
When you're reading it, and a lot of the best science fiction does not feel like science fiction when you're reading it.
Yeah.
Like the science fiction parts of it just flow with the rest of the story. So I recommend it, and if you got time, jump into it. It's fucking great. We'll get to our first story of the night. I do not have a lot tonight. I don't, Katie. It was slim pickings to begin with, and I didn't dig deep.
No.
But from theguardian.com, concern over Loch Ness low water levels amid UK dry spell. Concern has been raised about the water levels of Loch Ness and the River Ness amid the protracted dry spell affecting Scotland and the rest of the UK. Brian Shaw, the director of Ness District Salmon Fishery Board, said there has been a dramatic shrinkage in the size of the River Ness. He told the BBC these conditions are not normally good for angling. We're so early in the year, we're early summer, and already twice this year the River Ness has got to its lowest level at that particular time of year on record. He said there was a huge amount of concern about the health of the river. The loch dropped to its lowest levels since records began in 1990 last month and is categorized as being low. Dry weather in recent weeks has led to the Scottish Environment Protection Agency issuing a water scarcity alert in parts of the country. There are also claims that hydroelectric power schemes are affecting the water levels at Loch Ness, which by volume is the largest body of water in the UK. Shaw said pumped storage hydro near Foyers was contributing to the low water levels. Adrian Shine, a naturalist who has studied the loch for decades and designed the Loch Ness exhibition, also noted the low levels. He told the BBC, I cannot remember the water levels in Loch Ness being so low as they are now since 1989. I think it's most notable in Urquhart Bay. There's a smaller bay within that bay which is almost dry now, and I don't recall that even in 89. SEPA placed another area of the Highlands at significant risk of water scarcity on Friday due to the dry weather. It said it was extremely concerning that levels around Loch Marie had dropped so early in the summer. The Environment Watchdog also warned water scarcity in Scotland was expected to escalate quickly over the coming weeks due to the lack of rain and high temperatures. Loch Ness and Loch Esk in Dumfriesshire are facing moderate scarcity. Nathan Critchlow Watton, SEPA's head of water and planning, said, for the risk of water scarcity to have reached significant this early in the summer is extremely concerning and leaves no doubt that the next few months are going to be very challenging for all those who rely on the water environment to run their business. And there's a little more, but I'm going to wrap it up right there. There was another story I read that there's a possibility that they'll be able to find the Loch Ness Monster because there's less water in the loch.
Right, the water level's down. It increases their chances.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting not conclusion, but theory.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
extrapolation.
It is true, technically. I mean, you want to be mathematical about it. Yeah. But I thought it was interesting. They've only been keeping depth records since 1990.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was weird to me.
Yeah. They do weird shit.
We've got all sorts of records here in America back to like the 1800s in some places. Like,
yeah,
it's weird.
I mean, some places didn't think like shit like that was important. You know, stuff just didn't get recorded.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, we're lucky that the things that have been recorded have been recorded.
Right.
You know, like that thing that I sent you today, that fucking other Gobekli Tepe like site. It's like exactly like Gobekli Tepe.
Right.
Exactly like it. Same type of monuments, animal depictions, same fucking shit.
And I think it's technically from a little bit earlier than Gobekli Tepe.
Gobekli Tepe, yeah.
It's just like a slight before it. If I'm thinking of the right one.
Yeah, it's so weird. This shit is so weird. You know, so I take it all with a grain of salt, all of this stuff. You know, you know, the Loch Ness Monster, the Bigfoots, the ancient alien theories, which I don't buy too much into the ancient alien theories, but I do think that there was quite possibly a civilization of higher technology that existed prior to us.
Yeah, I'm down with that theory.
And that it fell, and people fell into, you know, tribal life, hunter-gatherer type things, and then we built back up.
Yep.
You know, I totally believe that. One of the books I want to read coming up is Graham Hancock's book there, Fingerprints of the Gods.
Yeah.
And I think I have the second one too, Magicians of the Gods.
I'm tempted to read that for sure.
Yeah, I have both of them, so I was thinking maybe back to back, delving into those, because I love anything that he does. He, like documentary style, or anytime he's on Joe Rogan. I love that the theories that he puts forward, because I think that a lot of this, ancient history that we know of, the way it's presented to us is horseshit.
Yeah, and it's presented to us in a way through like this lens of a very few specific people in most cases.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of room for broader interpretation. And also, these are little puzzle pieces they put together, and we don't have all the pieces. So that opens
Yeah.
up even more room for interpretation. So it definitely leaves you where like you have to be open-minded when you read some of this stuff.
Yeah. So, on to our next story of the evening. Let's see what we got here. What else was I able to grab this week? This one that I sent to you. From People, but I got it on, it's from people.com. I think I got it on MSN or some shit. I don't remember. Illinois worker finds 3 severed heads at his desk after job complaints. At first, I was confused, Dale Wheatley tells People. My boss walked by and I asked him why the heads were at my desk. A worker at a Chicago company that distributes human body parts for medical research says someone left 3 severed heads next to his desk in a macabre act of retaliation after he complained about the condition of donor bodies. Dale Wheatley, the transportation coordinator for the Anatomical Gift Association of Illinois, filed a police report after discovering the 3 disembodied heads sitting on a blue plastic storage tub by his desk. At first, I was confused, Wheatley tells People. My boss walked by, and I asked him why the heads were at my desk. He said they need to get back with their bodies so we can send them to cremation. Wheatley said in his 5 years at the job, body parts had never before been placed by his desk, and normally are kept in designated storage areas before he retrieved them to deliver to medical schools for students to dissect and study. They are later collected, cremated, and the ashes are returned to families. I asked him why they were at my desk, Wheatley said, and he said, I don't know, Dale. There's a lot of strange things going on.
Oh my God.
What? Seriously, you work at a place where you deal with, like, dead bodies, and you're seriously asking a guy, why are these at my desk? And he says, I don't know, Dale.
Ah. I can't believe somebody would think that was an appropriate practical joke to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a crime. Yeah. Like fucking with a human remains.
Yeah.
The disrespect.
Technically it is. But I mean,
is all that matters.
Understand that they work with these parts.
Yep, that's too comfortable for me. When you work with human parts, you respect those human parts. What if that was your family member's head? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm pretty fucking dark. So
no, that is so messed up to me. That is like so awful.
No, I think when you work in that type of environment, you have to.
You get callous to it.
Well,
sure.
Yeah, but you have to have some type of tact when it comes to the shit. You know, like, you can't be doing that type of shit.
No.
Not when this type of stuff can get out. Like, that's gonna ruin somebody's career, is what that's gonna do. Like, when they find out who the fuck did it, and that person gets called out, like, it's gonna ruin them.
It's just so awful.
Yeah.
So awful.
And all because, you've been desensitized to this stuff because you work with it all the time. It's like gallows humor among cops and people who deal with like rescue situations. You find humor in a lot of dark things because you're subject to it day in, day out. So
there's a line.
See, when it comes to humor and when you're trying to get through things in your own brain, I can see it. I can't see like laying out heads on somebody's desk.
I was gonna say there's like proper handling procedures and shit.
But I do get like the idea that these people are exposed to this stuff on a daily basis, and to them it may not seem as dark as it does to other people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know?
Something about that that's so... They use 3 human bodies to disrespect a living human.
Okay, so which would you rather have? Okay? Let me ask you this question. Which would you rather have? The guy that fucks around and does jokes around with human body parts. Okay? You can have that guy. Or you get the guy at the warehouse of whatever beverage that you drink in a can who steps in shit intentionally and then walks around on the tops of the cans.
Okay, see, y'all are see, in my office, we do funny things like put a Post-it note on the bottom of your laser mouse so it doesn't work, or put an air horn on the bottom of your chair so that when it...
Listen, Katie, I'm just telling you stories that I've heard that happen.
That's fucked.
In beverage warehouses.
That's fucked.
Just saying. So you know, I look at somebody that does something like this. This is a stupid joke, and it's probably, like I said, it's probably going to ruin whoever was part of it.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin their life.
Oh,
like more than likely, like they're going to lose their job or whatever. Like, because that stuff gets demanded nowadays.
Well, I imagine, like, what if that was, like, I've honestly debated donating my body to science when I die.
They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. They can fucking toss my dick around like
with
it's a
respect.
fucking
I agree.
like it's a fucking badminton.
As long as it's
birdie.
for good.
I don't really care.
They can explore and experiment and do what they need to for a good purpose, but they don't need to plop my head on somebody's desk. Like, the fuck, man? Get it together. Ugh.
Well, hey, I mean, at least they didn't Ed Kemper it. You know?
Yeah, but this is almost even worse because these are people who are entrusted in a profession that requires human respect.
No, and I agree. They definitely should have had some tact with it. Like I said, they definitely should have been, like you said, a higher level of respect for the corpses, and this is what you do.
Right.
You know,
you want to play a prank, sure, but don't involve the human bodies.
Right, and act like a fucking professional.
Right.
You know, so I get that completely. But I also get, at the same time, I also get the idea that these people are subject to very dark things on a daily basis, and they
have a
may not
relationship with it
right.
than we do.
And they may not see that as, you know, a horrible thing that they did. To them, it was just a stupid joke. So I get it. I'm not saying that it's right or that we should accept it.
Right.
I'm just saying I get it. You know, sometimes it's hard. That's very hard to do, to like step back and step down and be like, all right, maybe I disagree with this, but is there any way that I can at least understand it for a second so that I'm not such a prick about it?
Right. Well, and we've all been in that place where we've like made a lame joke and it didn't land. Yeah. And I suppose this is along the same lines.
You never know. And whoever did this, the guy or girl, whoever it may be, they could feel horrible about it at this point.
Right. Right. They could really regret.
You know,
their mistake.
Because you know you've done that before when you've done something and then you're like, yeah,
and then you punish yourself for 15 fucking years afterwards.
Yeah. You know, you remember those.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I've thought about at least a couple today.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know. Just the involvement of human bodies, I think, is what, like, takes it. That's just like so shocked. Like that headline, like you said, what a fucking headline.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that's why I sent it to you. Because I'm
Shoot,
like, this
buddy.
is gonna get her.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
it. Yeah.
and I definitely intended to have it on the show for tonight. So I was
I
like,
didn't
fuck
read
yeah.
it because I knew that. I was like, I'll let this be, but damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of really strange ones tonight. We gotta, well, except for the title story. We'll delve into
Right.
that one pretty deep. Our next story of the evening. I'm finding a lot of fun in these stories, Katie. So that's why you keep seeing these. And the more and more I see them, I'm going to continue to fucking grab them. So
Okay.
if you don't like it, and I'm not talking to you, Katie, because I know you love it. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. I'm going to continue to do it. From CBS.com, see the monster catfish nearly the size of a cargo van that was caught in Italy and may be a world record.
Yes.
I'm not even going to read the fucking story.
I love
I'm
this.
just going to show you the fucking catfish. Look at this motherfucker.
Fuck. That is a monster. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at that lower lip, man.
Yeah. That is
Damn.
massive. Look at that. Look, that's his hands in the fucking fish's mouth.
What an
Look at that
incredible
sumbitch.
blob of flesh. and
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
9.3 feet. Just
9
a few
feet.
just a few inches shy of a U-Haul cargo van.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
look at that
wild.
son of a bitch. That is massive. The fish makes the dude look small.
We don't
Makes
got
the dude
nothing
look
like
small.
that where I live. We had our neighbor, he caught a 20-inch bass this weekend, and we were really impressed. It was a good-looking bass. We ain't got no fucking 9-foot monsters. This is so crazy.
Look at that motherfucker. Oh my god.
Wow.
That's
He's so round.
I came across that story and I was like, yeah, I'm grabbing that one.
Wow.
Most definitely am I grabbing that story.
Proudest moment of that dude's life right there.
One of my favorite shows on television, which is not on anymore, is fucking River Monsters with
Yes.
Jeremy Wade. Fucking
Yes.
loved River Monsters with Jeremy Wade. I'm
Me too.
bummed that it's not on anymore. You can go
He
back.
got a lot of seasons though. He did.
Well,
a lot.
he said that there was just no more shit that he could really
Yes,
search for.
it got repetitive, which I was fine with. I would watch the same shit over and over
Oh yeah,
again.
he could catch the same shit, and I'd fucking watch him.
He
Like-
looked just like my dad though, and it made me like love him extra more and stuff. Oh, I loved that show.
I really enjoyed River Monsters. I thought that was a fun show.
It was
Definitely
fantastic.
a fun show. Our main story of the evening. Unless you're living under a fucking rock, you've heard about this. I'll delve into the 911 call as well. But from the dailymail.co.uk, Las Vegas man describes terrifying experience seeing UFO in the night sky and 10-foot aliens in his backyard as he releases recording of his panicked encounter. A Las Vegas man who claimed to have witnessed two 8-foot creatures with big shiny eyes in his own backyard last month spoke out about the mysterious encounter, explaining what he experienced the night of May 31st. The YouTube video posted Thursday presented further detail about the alleged UFO crash and the creatures the man called 100% not human. I know some people are not going to believe this, he begins, but I just wanted to tell you about what happened to me and my family. The man then details the evening developments step by step. I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments later, I feel a big impact and a bang, the man claimed in the now viral YouTube video. In his explanation video, he also revealed new Ring camera footage, allegedly from a neighbor's security camera, which clearly shows a bright light with the sound of a massive bang. And there is picture. Does that show? Yeah, I'm gonna pop this up because this like has it on a loop. Right here. So that you see right there is the light that they saw in the sky. I don't know how well you can see that there.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
it.
you
It's
can see
glowing
it.
green,
Yeah.
turquoisey.
So did you listen to the 911 call?
Yes, I have a couple times, not in a row, but I have listened to it. Yeah.
All right. So before we play it, what did you think of it?
I I don't know. It sounds believable to me, but I know myself and I always think the best of people automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Um so it first impression I was intrigued, not that like I believe in 100% not human, but it piqued my interest for sure.
Well, and before we go any further, we should definitely say that the police definitely investigated this.
Yes.
They went around and like checked with other people, questioned people about this if they saw this in the sky. It's on the cop's body cam.
Yeah, it
Um,
sounded like there was an officer actually who saw the light, and
mhm.
that's what made them more inclined to actually go and ask around because there was an officer that saw it. It wasn't just a blind report from a citizen.
Right, they had multiple witnesses,
Right.
and they definitely had questions.
Yeah.
So there's that. I did grab. So let me see if I can find in it. I grabbed the YouTube video. That shows the that has the call. All right. All right. So I've got it up right now. I will bring this back up, the volume back up. We'll stop sharing that. And I will share this with you. This is the 911 call that this gentleman put into wherever in Las Vegas. I don't know. But here's the 911 call.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us.
All right. Well, they look like aliens to us. So I hear this, and I don't discount it immediately. So my initial reaction is not that this kid is full of shit.
Yeah.
For one, there's multiple witnesses in the house that
True.
saw these things.
Yeah.
From what I know, everybody says they look the same. There's no like deviation on it.
Right.
And then you have this strange fucking flash in the sky. So I'm not skeptical on this one. I wouldn't say I'm very skeptical on this one. I'm very open-minded on this story. Very open-minded on this story.
Something stinks to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
and I guess
how come?
It's possible that... Okay, so there's multiple people there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's on 911 with his phone. Where's the video from the other people? Why weren't they videoing while dude's on 911?
Of videoing the
aliens, the 10-foot aliens that they're looking at
absolutely.
As they're talking.
Everybody's got a fucking cell phone.
Maybe they're just not released. Who knows? Maybe they kept them quiet. Maybe the MIB came and took it.
Yeah.
because there were reports of guys in sunglasses and suits driving down the street. So, but I don't know that I believe those. So I don't know. The more I look at it, the stinkier it gets to me.
Yeah.
But I'm also very cynical and don't believe this shit most of the time. So,
No, Katie, you bring up a great point. You bring up a great point. That everybody has fucking cell phones right now. Now, granted, I've been in situations where I've wanted to go grab for my cell phone, and it's a fleeting moment, but this didn't seem like it was a fleeting moment. He kept saying they're still there.
when you're standing looking at something, describing it,
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't think it was a fleeting moment. If it was a fleeting moment, then I can see, okay, they couldn't get their phone out in time to capture this. Because I caught a guy the other day doing something weird, and I'm like, I want to video this so bad. Couldn't get my phone out in time as we were driving by.
right?
You know, just could not get my phone out of my pocket and get it going to video this guy. I wished I fucking could have. You know, but I if it had been a situation like that where these things just zipped through the backyard, they caught it, they all saw it, and then they're describing what they saw, great. But he's describing it as they are still sitting in the fucking backyard.
Yeah, he literally says it's still there.
Yes.
And you
So-
can hear other people in the background.
So why didn't anyone record it? And if anyone did, why haven't we seen the recording?
Right. Well, and the other way I tried to rationalize it is, okay, adrenaline pumping, people do weird shit. As someone who happened to have to call 911 this week, fumbling, bumbling fool. I was a mess, and so was everyone else in the situation. But I did not get that vibe. That's not what this was. He even said the words, "We're terrified." But he said them the most ineffectual way I've ever heard somebody say the words, "We're terrified."
Yeah, but at the same time, though, not everybody processes terror the same way.
True.
So I can't immediately go, he doesn't sound like he's terrified, so therefore he's not terrified. You know, I don't see it that way. I see this as very interesting. That this
Very.
911 call came in, and this whole thing happened that same night.
Right. All the context helps it be
Yeah.
interesting too.
The cops' investigation, they don't know what the fuck's going on. So I'm very interested in this case.
Yeah.
Very interested. I think this is interesting. And this week we had the guy come out and say that the whistleblower there say that we have fucking UFOs in our possession and aliens.
I'm glad you mentioned the whistleblower. So I did not watch the whole video. I have to admit. I don't know how much I watched of it. Maybe 2 minutes. Not a lot.
Mhm.
I immediately got paid actor Animal Planet mermaid vibes. Immediately. That's how I felt right away.
I wonder at this point if the government is taking a play out of the fucking Watchmen handbook. If you've never seen the movie The Watchmen or read the graphic novel, spoiler alert, it's been out for a while, so fuck you if you don't know. At the end of the movie and the comic book, more so in the comic book, Ozymandias, he makes it seem like aliens have attacked Earth so that the people of Earth will band together and work together. And I'm beginning to wonder if this whole thing is just a smokescreen to make us all think that we're being invaded so that we all just fall into line.
I've been saying it for a long time. They're toying with us, little drops in the water here and there over the years.
I wonder.
Testing and watching us and seeing how we react to it. It's
I
what
wonder.
all of this is.
I wonder at this point.
I don't know the purpose of it. I don't know that it's to bring us together.
It's
Sounds
because
good.
because as much as I want to believe that, you know, in the whole alien UFO phenomena, I can't help but see the propaganda angle of this.
Yeah.
I can't help but see that this is just a look over here, look over here, look over here while I'm doing something else over here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems like a big misdirection.
Yeah.
And or something to sate people with. You know? I'm very of that I'm skeptical. You know, I
Right.
begin to so I don't know anymore.
What did you think of that guy? Did you find him phony?
The guy that made the 911
whistleblower.
call, or the
No,
whistle-
the whistleblower.
I haven't looked into the whistleblower, to be honest with you. That's one I haven't looked into yet.
Well, I hope I didn't taint your
No,
perception.
I look at this stuff right now, like I said, as propaganda.
He
And
so sounded like a really bad paid actor to me.
well,
He did not seem like somebody that worked for. No, I
I'd
just
be
don't buy it.
I'll be curious. I'll look into it. Maybe I'll have different feelings about it. But that's the thing right now. I really feel like it's a this whole thing is a contrived. It feels like at this point it's contrived,
Yeah.
and we're being fed a narrative that's going to push us along a certain way.
Yep.
And I really feel like that there's a cause effect type thing here, that they know if they do this thing, that the effect among the people, among the populace, will be this other thing that works in their favor. And I wonder, like when I see stuff like this, I wonder about that.
Yeah.
So
I wonder
know.
about the purpose, but for the optimistic person that I am, usually, I might be less optimistic about that.
yeah. But as far as like this individual encounter goes, I don't discount it. Like I don't go, I don't think this happened. I do think that what you said is very suspect. The fact that nobody got video, or we haven't seen any video of what these things were, that seems suspect.
And if you really take that thought down, you could see reasonably where, the government came in there and took everybody's cell phones, and that's just not going to get released. So that's possible to me too. I say it stinks, but I actually don't discount that one, and I usually discount them all. I'm not an alien person.
Right.
But this one, I am very intrigued. My nose is in the air, watching out. Like, tell me more. I want to know all the things.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I want to know the ins and outs of this one.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what's going on. Is this a real story? Are we and with everything else, are we being fed a line of bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to believe that it's not that way, but based on what I've seen recently and in years past, it's just propaganda bullshit.
There's a strange pattern happening with this stuff, and this one is definitely an interesting standout.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes. We'll watch for any further developments, I guess.
Indeed.
And we'll see if if Loch Ness drains out and we find a fucking plesiosaur.
That'd be cool.
Could happen. I doubt it, but could
I
happen.
think that's more likely than aliens, but
You think that's more likely than aliens? Really?
I mean, in my happy little brain, I'd like to think that.
I think aliens are more likely than Loch Ness. I hate to break that one to you, Katie.
I know.
I think
know.
I think aliens
I'm
are a little bit more
naive.
likely.
I'm a square. I'm a square. I'm a square.
Hey, you gotta live in your little bubble. I get it.
I know.
I get it.
I'm happy here.
Yeah. So, I forgot to put up the ticker for the Dunn family
Yes.
PayPal. I will add that underneath the video as well, because I missed that as well, probably. Yeah, we are still looking for donations for Fred and his family. You can send those through PayPal to dreadfun@outlook.com. That's DREDFUNN@outlook.com. And they appreciate all the support. I just sent Fred a head shaver.
Nice.
Head shaver. Skull gold head shaver. It's like an electric razor that you use for your head. So, as always, go over and support Fred over at his YouTube page, youtube.com/dreadfun. That's youtube.com/DREDFUNN. You can subscribe to the podcast. Those of you who are listening live on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast over at Spotify. Just search for the Fortean Files. The link is here up on the screen if you're watching the video. I'm not going to read that all out, but it is there. But if you go on Spotify and look for the Fortean Files, you will find it. You can also find it on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. The only place you can't find us, Apple Music, Apple iTunes, whatever the fuck they call themselves now. Apple Podcasts does not carry us, so fuck them. But
Fuck 'em.
we're not there. And go check out the new Twitter page at Fortean Files. That's at capital Fortean, capital Files. I am considering dumping the Facebook page once and for all. They have basically told me that no matter what I do, I'm going to get limited distribution because of issues that I've had in the past, which are all horseshit. And in order for me to do anything on Facebook at this point in time, I would have to start from complete scratch. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just done with it. I worked really hard, built a page up, spent years daily posting content, interacting with people, building
You had
that
some
page.
real progress there. Too.
I built that page to 55,000 people. Originally, the original Fortean Slip page, and they tanked it so that it would get it got no views. I would make posts, and 55,000 people on the page supposedly. I would get max 20 likes on a fucking post. So I swapped to the new page, and it's going very well at first, and then they hit me again for a stupid post, and then they said that they agreed with me after I disagreed with the decision. They put the post back up, but still kept all of the restrictions in place on the page. So no matter what I do, it's not going to work on Facebook. So I'm putting all my focus on Twitter. Twitter seems to be, I guess, at this point, the last bastion of fucking free speech for these types of platforms. I hate to say that.
So disappointing.
It has its problems, but at least I'm not getting hit for things every other fucking 5 minutes on it. If you want to follow the page, I'm going to suggest that you go there. I will still continue to post the show links and stuff on the Facebook page for now. But at some point I may not. Like I said, I'm just pretty much done with it. I don't even want to fucking deal with it. I don't even want to open it up anymore. So, yeah.
I don't blame you.
So I would promote said Facebook page, but I don't give a shit about it anymore. But you can subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube page, youtube.com/at the Fortean Files. That's youtube.com/at TheForteanFiles. Like I said, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Download some fucking episodes of that. Listen to them. ones you've missed. Or, maybe download one you liked. Re-listen to that. Do something. Support the show. And we will be back next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with more strange news for you. So until then, be good to one another out there. Search for the truth wherever you find it. Wherever you fucking find it. It's out there. Till next week, people. Have fun.